Hi guys, Lord of Pontail here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. And in this video, I'd like to talk about one of the most complicated elements of the game, and that is actually the mechanics of battle. So what happens when you click on a castle and you send your legion off to attack the enemy? One of the best pieces of advice I can give guys is that practice makes perfect. The more that you battle with other competitors, other players, then the better you're going to understand how your heroes are working for you and what is potentially going to be your best combination. And also taking time to study battle reports so that you can understand what's happened. So how do we look at battle reports? Well, if you click on the menu icon here, select the mail icon, and then the third option down, we've got battle report. This is going to highlight any time that your castle has scouted an opponent, you've been scouted, you've been attacked, or you have attacked. So let's have a look at a report, a siege report from Saturday. We're up against State 65. So you click on the report and it's going to tell you whether there was a victory or defeat, where the war occurred. So in State 65 at 714291, the date and the time. It's going to tell you if you plundered any resources, so food, lumber, marble, iron, or gold. Please note that you're only going to be able to siege and plunder gold with your class legion as a raider. So any other legion, if you're any other class and you attack a castle, you're only going to be able to plunder these first four resources. Next up is battle details. Who was against who? So apologies MPI 1000 for showing you. And it's going to show the location of where you were attacking from and who you attacked. You can click on the avatar for that player and you can message them or view them or block them. And this icon here will just show the defender has failed, some units are wounded. It's going to tell you how many kills you had, how many of your units have fallen, how many were heavy injuries. So if you click on here, heavy wounded units require recovery from the hospital. If not treated, they will be dead. So those are going to be the troops that have gone to your medical tents, guys. Next up is minor injuries. So this is the new gameplay mechanic that came in with the update last week. And minor injuries are lightly wounded troops who cannot fight, but they will immediately recover when they return to the castle. And then you've got your survivors. Next up is going to tell you total of rounds. And what that means is it's 1 round per formation / legion that you are having to battle. Now, the maximum that you can have is 9 rounds of battle. That is very rare, and that would be if a castle had its 4 offensive legions, a 5th defensive legion, which you can obtain from doing master defense research once you reach level 25 castle, and you've got your institute at level 25. And that castle could also have 4 alliance members that were reinforced in it. As I say, it's very rare that you would see a battle report with that many rounds from the battle. Pretty standard, as you can see here. So if you've gone to your fortress and selected your legions to garrison, your 4 offensive legions, then this is, and they're all in the castle at the time that it's being attacked, then your offensive legion is going to have to beat each of those 4 legions. And if you look below now, it's going to give you an option to look at each round of the battle. So if we swipe across, this is the battle report for round 1. And battles can last for up to 8 turns. The best way to describe it is that if you are going to win a battle, there's 2 ways to win. The first is that you actually just beat the opponent's troops before the 8th and final turn. So all of the soldiers in the Legion have, you've killed so many of them that their morale fails and collapse, and they basically return to the castle. The other way you're going to win is through basically killing or wounding more and having less killed and less wounded. And a big part, and there are so many different elements to that mechanic which work in the game, which I can't really cover in one short video, but I'm going to try my best to kind of explain the key elements. So as we go down, it will show you again the units defeated, your fallen units, heavy injuries, minor injuries, and survived from that individual round in the battle, and also then what happened for your opponent. And we're on the battle details page at the moment. It will show you what gear was in use for both yourself and your opponent. And if you click on each individual gear, it will show you the buff that it gave. So the Steel Cavalry Ransor gives a plus 30 buff to increase the combat speed, plus 30% to your marching speed, and plus 20% to your cavalry HP, which is basically their health. And you can obviously select for each one of those. If you notice here on the right hand side, so my opponent has one of his gear blacked out. That means it was not in use, it was not active during the battle. And the reason for that is that this was a footman gear being used with cavalry. So if you have to be, that is one tip for you guys, make sure that your gear matches the troops, the troop type that you're using in your legion. So if you've got cavalry, make sure it's cavalry gear. If you've got footmen, footman gear. Archers, archers gear. Next on down, we've got the individual reports for your heroes. So it's going to tell you how many. So Warlord was my front row, Heaven's Justice was my middle row, and I had Living Saint on my back row. And it's going to show how many times they used a skill, how many times a skill was activated, and how many kills those skills gave. And then again, it's going to show the individual report for what happened to the troops in that legion. It's going to show you what skills are activated on that hero and to what level. And then this box here shows your troop type. So that's T9, level 9 cavalry. As you can see, Heaven's Justice had 4 skills activated and he had 28,619 skill kills. Living Saint, a real kit, one of the most efficient killer heroes in the game. She had 15 skills activated and they killed 152,053. So this is where your kind of back row killer heroes can make a real difference. Living Saint, Immortal, Avalanche, in cavalry, for instance. On the defensive side, it will, if you guys will notice that you have a watchtower in your castle, the more you level it up, it's going to get you some kills. But if you look here, even that's a level 25 watchtower. It's on basic shooting. You can upgrade the shooting level in, again, Master Defense Research, which you unlock at level 25. And it's got skill kills there with 1,371. And again, then you've got the report for their heroes, the legions in each row, and the type of troop. So if it's got that little clenched muscled arm, then it's enhanced troops. So that is the battle details page. On the right hand side here, you'll see there's another option for unit attributes. If we click on that, it's going to give you the unit attributes for each row on each opponent. So attacker on the left, defender on the right. It's going to show the amount of troops and the troop type. So that's the cavalry symbol, and it was level 9, Paladin against level 9 Enhanced Paladin. Then this first icon here with the crossed swords, this is attack power. So you can click on the bar here that shows the total percentage, and that will then give you a breakdown of the components that have made that total. And as you can see, there are multiple different elements to what makes up the total in some of these attributes. So Alliance Technology gave a 5% buff. Buildings, 55%. That's my Raiders Hall and the Cavalry War Room. My class, so I've got in my class manual the Siege Might card activated, and that's given me a 5% boost. Equipment, so the gear that you've got, 60%. Your hero, they will give varying amounts of boost. Items, so that will be if you've activated the 20% might boost, which I had as it was a kill event. Your technology, both for attack and siege might. Siege might is part of Master Warfare. And then VIP, so each level of VIP, you can add 2% to your attack power through the might bonuses available there. Next element down, resistance. Again, Alliance Technology, the buildings, class, equipment, hero, items, technology, VIP, all contribute towards your resistance. So as you can see, there's so many different elements that you have to focus on if you're going to end up with a meta attack for your account. And that's why as well, everything counts, whether it's building, research, gear, the heroes that you develop, they all play their part. The Alliance Technology, it's going to give you that little bit of edge further on down the road. And that's why they're all important in the game. Tactical Might, this is the damage dealt by the hero skills. And again, so class refers to the card activated in the class manual, equipment, and then technology, what we've researched. Resistance, this is the amount that is damage that is taken from hero skills. And we've got, again, equipment, technology. You can add class on that as well, and heroes. HP next, so this is your health. So how many hits you can take before you're going to die effectively. Again, equipment, technology, VIP, and heroes can also help. So if you look here on the defender, he had a hero that was giving a 22% boost to the HP of the troops, and that will be Oriki doing that. And then last one is combat speed. So how quickly your attacks troop and who attacks first. So I had considerable combat speed benefit over my opponent, only 38% combat speed given through equipment, while I had 540 through buildings, equipment, and technology. With the buildings, so that's the cavalry enhancement camp. That's the last set of buildings that you're going to obtain through the chain of doing the crystallized buildings, the war rooms, supply stations, spy agency, and then onto enhancement camps. That makes a big difference. There are quite a few heroes as well that also give benefit to combat speed as well. So there's various elements to this as well. As you can see, it's different on each row because, again, the heroes are going to be a variable. You have different heroes stationed on different rows. So that's your unit's attributes. What other information is available to you? Well, in the top right-hand corner here, you can see a play button. So if we click on this, it's actually going to show you a full run-through of the battle. So initially there, that was the watchtower attacking my troops. And then if you see these icons, it will show the hero and when they're, and the skill that is being activated for that hero. It's going to show you your troops. So in this case, cavalry making the basic attacks. So that was my middle row attacking the front row of the opposition. And it will show the damage caused by each of those attacks. Now, what you're trying to achieve, as I said before, is either to cause more damage to your opponent while suffering less damage, in the 8 rounds, or you're going to try and set up your heroes so that you can remove this front row of heroes, this front row, of troops, because once you remove that row, the corresponding hero will also leave the battle, and that's going to leave your opponent severely weakened. Now, in the top left-hand corner of this, you can actually speed up the battle speed from 1, 2 to 5 times. So we're just going to speed it up to 5 times now. And from the report, you could see that this battle did go the full 8 rounds. What you've got to think about as well, and I'll do more on this in a different video, is hero skills. And this is why the positioning of your hero is key. So you'll see on a hero skill about range, and range is very important because that's telling you how far that skill is going to attack. So how many lines it will go through to attack. If you have 3, you start with 3 lines on each side, and you have a back row hero, so they're here. They need to be able to reach the back row of the opponent. They need a range of 5, because it's got to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines to hit the back row of your opponent. So that's why checking the range of hero skills, their combat skills, is very important, because you want to be able to maximize your offense. See here in the battle we've got to the 8th round, and I did manage to remove 2 of the squads in my opponent's formation, but he still had the last squad remaining at the end of the battle. So we did go through to the 8th round, but result in victory. If we just quickly look at the other reports in this one, so in round 2, the battle lasted for 7 turns, round 3, 7 turns, and then round 4, 6 turns, probably because obviously generally you would have your class legion, your most powerful legion, as your primary defensive legion, and that's who you're going to be battling in round 1, and then as you go through, they're going to get weaker. So that's why the further I got into the battle, the weaker the opponent and the quicker the battle finished. One thing to consider is that if you're fighting someone who has been reinforced, you will fight the reinforced troops first before you fight any of the home castle legions. And that is the basics on battle mechanics, guys, and battle reports. It is a very complicated mechanic, even when, say, if two maxed out accounts fought against each other, where they had their alliance technology was completed, they'd completed all their personal research technology, they had the same heroes with the same troops, you're not going to get the same outcome in each battle. And the reason for that is so many of the hero skills are chance based. You'll see that a lot of them range from as low as 30%. Yes, you do get some that are 100%, like Desert Storm's 8th skill, but so many of them, it is based on chance. And that's why there isn't actually a surefire way for you to win every single battle in this game, because there isn't a set formation of 3 heroes that you can obtain where all of their skills activate 100% of the time. That is why it's a real learning curve, and you have to invest that time in looking at your battle reports, tweaking your formation, so which hero works best in the front row, the middle row, and the back row. For cavalry heroes, I have done a video, best cavalry heroes formations for you guys, which show the very endgame meta with X heroes all the way back down to standard orange heroes. So I suggest you, if you guys have got cavalry units, go and check that out on the channel when you have time. And as I say, it's just practice makes perfect, guys. This is a war game. It's not Farmville. Get out there, take part in some kill events at the weekends, see what your troops are going to do. You should be always constantly training troops, because you're going to lose them at some time or other. You can't protect yourself all of the time. So get battling, guys. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you very much again for all the likes, subscriptions, comments, and shares of the channel. I really appreciate all the support. Thanks very much.